Somebody's looking for the party. Hazel May. I wonder if she found it. Actually, that's a question. You were online earlier. Is the Christmas decoration still up?
No. I think they have like the New Year's celebration thing now.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Heaven's Turn, I think is the event it's called.
Maybe.
Because I know I was in Libsa earlier and they had the re-accepted quest by the Aft Castle Shard. Just south of there, they have an area that occasionally during seasonal events they'll have stuff. It's got that Heaven's Turn decorations there now, along with the starting the quest out that they have for that event. Just get some stuff. Nothing major, just some limited time seasonal stuff.
You said before that do you currently have like a residence in any of the characters you have?
On my main character, I used to have a house, but I've actually had gotten rid of it because, well, one, if you're not having at least gone into the house within 45 days, it gets put up for auto demolition, and you can basically lose your house and your property gets sold to somebody else. Although stuff you invested for in terms of like things for like exterior, interior decoration, and things you can put in the house, you'll get
back.
Moved to an NPC that you can then get and reclaim it. So
okay, that's
and you can get some of the money that you would have spent on the plot of land back too. But
from what I read somewhere, you can sort of just stay with like in the houses of the free companies you're a part of, though.
Yeah, for houses that are based on well, here's how it works. When you purchase the land, you designate whether you want you want a house to be, you're going to build on either a free FC house or a private one. If it's a private one, then there's not much you do other than decorate it and show it off. But if it's an FC house, where you can have like an additional, like a company workshop that you can do for like crafting and gathering stuff and things like that. Do it, and there's also the ability to have like private quarters in there, so members in there can like
have their own rooms essentially.
Yeah, basically like pay down guild to put their own room in.
Okay, that sounds pretty neat.
Yep, it's actually a similar concept with like the apartments, because I know on my character I'm doing with SG's LP, he actually, since we weren't able to have any luck in getting a plot of land to put a house up on, is we were going to get our own thing for that, because well, let's just say buying one now is not like it was back when I did. I don't know if it's just a primal data center thing, but yeah, the properties or the land that you want to purchase aren't always available to be bought, even if they're like open. You have to wait for the right time for it to open up, and the problem is you got other people that are not only going for it, but even basically you got other bots too, and
that's never fun.
Yeah. It basically got to a point where I stopped looking for one on that because of that. I'm not wasting more time looking for a house if we're going to get beat up by bots, or we can't even get in there because of dumb time limits on when it opens up. Because I didn't even have to do that back when I brought the house, well, 2 properties of land on my main, because the first one I had logged in for a while. I thought I did enough to get there, and nope. Apparently you had to go inside the house, not just on the land property.
Oh.
And I ended up losing it, so I did get another one, but eventually a while in there, I was like, nah, I just got rid of it, took the stuff, kept it, whatever, and just not bothered. The novelty had kind of worn off. Plus the fact that the properties of land are pretty expensive. I mean, you're talking for, well...
It's a couple million, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple million just for a regular property, for a regular size small house, not a medium or even a large one, which is even expensive.
Yeah, like I might eventually at some point, like on my third character, my plate, not table, I might end up joining the free company just so I can like get like a private room or something in one of the things if I can.
Because I know another thing that's available here too, if you can't get a house or you're not part of an FC, you can get each residential thing has an apartment in there. So you can buy an apartment room.
I assume they're a lot cheaper, though.
It's like 500,000 gil for a room, so
But it's the same thing where if you're not in for 45 days, you get booted out.
probably,
I'll have to have a look into it.
yeah. But I know one of the things I went on today is that character before I even did the set, so she was just to check into that, so I didn't lose it. Because he actually did provide the money for each of us to try and get one, although I don't think Tri has actually purchased an apartment. I know myself and SG did.
So, sorry if you said this earlier. Where exactly are you guys again with the his Let's Play?
We're still in the second half of ARR because he wants to do like the side stuff that came out during that part of the game before we,
fair enough,
move on. So.
Oh yeah, you're saying you're going to start the Crystal Tower series soon, didn't you?
Yeah, he brought that up as the next thing to do yet. Yeah, we haven't even touched the story.
Oh, that went on a while for this Let's Play. So yeah, you're going to be there for a while.
Yep. Plus, there's the fact that if he wants to do the coils as well, that's another one.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, to be fair, looking back, we probably would have got through A Realm Reborn a bit faster ourselves if we hadn't, because originally it wasn't just gonna. We hadn't really set any boundaries or stuff. From what I can remember, so we did do some side stuff early on. Like I said, we did attempt the Palace of the Dead, which didn't go great. So
yeah, I mean relatively early, but other than that, yeah, and the Palace that did not go well.
By the second half of Realm Reborn, though, we'd already set the thing though, so we were only going to do the main quest lines or anything that was considered mandatory at least as well. So
pretty much.
Like, obviously, I've been showcasing a bit of the extra stuff in the unlisted grind videos, but that's about it. Was Hilda introduced in this cutscene, or was she introduced earlier? I can't remember.
She was introduced in the first half of Heaven's Word.
Okay, so she's been around for a bit at this point.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because you actually meet her in the first half prior to when you eventually have to go into the vault, which is the level 57 dungeon.
Okay.
Yeah, Thacker knows a thing or two about roaming the streets.
Like the sewer rat that he is. One thing I've been in two minds about is, not so much two minds about it because it'll get done anyway, but I could have technically done the next Red Mage quest during the grind session, but I did say before that I would always showcase like the quests for the class I'm currently using. So I'm like, that might be the first thing I do like during our next session is just do
because I think as far as how the Stormblood job quests break down, I think it's pretty much the same in terms of every job that is introduced early enough. That means the Shadowbringers wasn't included. The Endwalker 2 wouldn't count because they start at level 70. But there's a quest at level 60, level 63, level 65, level 68, and then there's level 70, which also is always the required one to do to get one specific move for each job that you learn at your level 70 move.
Okay, next up we got currently on Against the Dying of the Light. And
that was one of the reasons why I've been trying to level up Gunbreaker even before today, was because I wanted to get my level 70 move from that level 70 job quest.
So obviously there's been a few more classes introduced, obviously with Endwalker and all that stuff.
Yep.
So
Reaper and Sage.
So with pretty much like the main story out the way now and stuff, and probably a few classes going to be introduced in the future, probably not. What would you say is your favorite class to play as now?
Boy. I would have to break that down probably by role, possibly. It'd be hard to pick. I think it's
fair enough.
Tanking, it would probably be Gunbreaker at this point.
Okay. Gunbreaker for tank.
I would say melee DPS would be Ninja.
Okay.
Ranged, actually ranged is Machinist. which is
Okay.
basically a gunner. So
Yeah, I assumed as much.
I think magic DPS. Here's the thing: if we're talking like favor as a whole, I would say blue mage easy. If we're talking for something that has to like eventually get through the game with, that's not limited. Right now, I might have to say summoner, but just by kind of a default. Because here's a thing that we're not far enough in through yet, but gets introduced in Shadowbringers. They're called role quests, which kind of become, well, I know in Shadowbringers they're a requirement to get through the first half of the game, so you will have to do at least one of them to get through that.
Yeah.
And then, but also it also gets you some of your job gear as well. And I know that in Endwalker it's a similar thing where I think, well, it's a little different in Endwalker because you can get the job gear without doing the role quest, but, and I know one difference too is that the job gear you get from Shadowbringers is like level 80. Well, in Endwalker it's actually 89 and not 90 to get a level early. However, you have to get to level 90 and complete a specific role quest for whatever role that your job is in to be able to get the ability to dye that gear. Which is weird, but it's not the worst thing. It's actually not a bad requirement. It's just if you want to be more customizable with it, but yeah. Yeah, because job quest things kind of goes away in Shadowbringers, and they turn into role quests. With the, I would say the two exceptions would be the brand new classes introduced at level 70, because I think by rule when they introduce and they have job quests, they always want to make it like a thing to have at least some kind of a quest related story behind each one. Like each one has its own story, which I totally get that. I kind of think it should anyways, because it's always more fun that way. So those would Sage and Reaper would be the only exceptions. But yeah, otherwise, other than that, the only thing related to job quest stories after Shadowbringers is actually there's a level 80 quest for each of the pre-Endwalker ones jobs that you can do, but you have to complete the proper role quest for Shadowbringers first to do it. And the job quest there at level 80 is not even required. It's just totally optional if you want to like get a gist of where the story is for that specific job during or even kind of later half of Shadowbringers is going on while you are, well, where you are. I'll just say that much without spoiling anything. So
I assume you've tried out like Red Mage and stuff though, right?
I tried it out. I've had a harder time getting into it, to be honest. I don't know. There's just things about that I just can't really get into. I don't know why.
It's fine. Personally, it was like fucking godsend for me, especially after struggling to. Like, obviously, I got decent enough with the Arcanist, but as soon as I had to switch to either Summoner or
well, the thing is, you also wanted to do what the Arcanist was actually better at, which is a little bit of attacking and healing at the same time.
Which, unfortunately, you have to either pick one or the other when it comes to upgrading that shit. So, yeah, Red Mage for me ended up being a really, pretty much a godsend of a role to have.
Yep.
Which I actually forgot to mention as well. Blue Mage was another one I unlocked during the grind session. Again, didn't actually do any of the stuff. I just unlocked the thing.
Oh, nice. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, Blue Mage is definitely a side thing entirely, because that's between trying to level it up, which there is a power leveling trick for that, but obviously the best way of doing that is to have access to level 70 areas at the beginning of Shadowbringers, and obviously we're not even there, so.
Like I said, I was just unlocking all this stuff because the quest to get unlocked and gave decent experience, so, and actually a decent amount of gil, from what I can remember.
Yeah. And actually trying to get the skills from it can be fun, because some of the skills are need to use the blue spells. The other thing is that the other thing I have is a problem with the whole blue mage thing is that other than the whole limited job thing, which I get, but learning blue spells, especially later on from later expansions, not like ARR, not as much, but the Heaven's Word one to some degree, and especially Stormblood, they unlock a lot of the blue spells behind, well, either level 60 or level 70 content. And in some cases, you're talking like optional trials or optional raids. or optional normal raids, I say, which is the 8-man, not the 24.
I suppose if nothing else, it gives you incentive to actually do the trials, though, even if they're optional.
Yeah.
If they unlock stuff for the blue mage, so.
Yeah, because like for some of the ones in the Stormblood spells are, I actually can think of at least one. Well, actually, there's two that are available. Well, and there's actually more than that are only available during the segments of the Omega raids during the second half of Stormblood.
Yeah.
Which involves Delta Scape, Sigma, and Alpha, which, I mean, have their own measures for what they deal with. I think there's like some of the trials, things like that. Plus the fact that Blue Mage can only, right now, currently its limited level is 70, unlike the others who can all go up to 90, because it had its own level cap back when it first came out. Although if they do expand, I imagine they're going to raise the level cap to 80. It's just a matter of how to make it work, especially with the story taking place in a different place than it is now, so that part of the game, huh?
Speaking to Fancred again at the moment.
Yep.
Don't know if there'll be another quest after this, because there's only like 8 minutes left on the video here.
Yeah, but I saw the, oh yeah, I was like thinking before, speaking of the vault, it's, even if you don't get to it, yeah, you're pretty close to where you would be making the solo excursion into the vault.
Yeah, but with 8 minutes left, I don't think there's time for it to do that, maybe?
Probably not. Or they may try it and we'll end up, the part might be cut midway, who knows, because...
It might be. I don't remember where part 227 began, so...
Yeah, because even though we do these sessions, you always split up the parts, so when they actually start begin is like different than where it could be.
Oh, absolutely. Like, obviously at this point, tonight we've been doing a video that was an hour and 10 minutes, but I'll be splitting that up into like 3 different videos, so it's like that. And obviously when we do sessions,
25 to 26, yep.
And when we do the sessions, obviously I don't end each session off with a sign off and stuff, because each part off with a sign off. Because you never know when it's going to happen, so we usually record in like 2-hour chunks, and then I'll stop the recording, start up another one and stuff, and all that shit.
Yeah, because obviously, you know, we still have things that can happen even now with videos having to be made up and stuff.
Yeah, recordings can fuck up, PCs can crash and all that stuff and screw up your video, so you never know what's going to happen. Alright, can't jump off there, which is pissing me off. Can jump there, though, apparently.
Yay, video game only allows you to take shortcuts.
I know.
Not that I'm complaining, actually, because I've done the same thing myself, including taking jumps off of high-end drops that usually always leave your character with 1 hit point.
The funny thing is, you can jump off a lot higher shit in this game and still survive with 1 HP, so...
Yeah.
I don't know why you couldn't.
Yeah, the only thing you really have to worry about that is making sure there's no enemies at the bottom when you land, because if that happens, you're probably going to be dead before you can get...
Or at least if you're going to land into a pile of enemies, make sure they're too low level to even contemplate attacking you.
Or try to hope you can land far enough away that none of them see you, because obviously most of the enemies past ARR are always aggressive in nature. You don't find any enemies that leave you alone unless you attack first as much.
I did actually have that the other day. I can't remember what areas I was in. I think it was one of the Fenland areas, but I jumped off like the bridge. Oh, sorry, I jumped off the edge of a cliff. Fell into a pit of enemies, but thankfully they were all just a bit too low level to want to attack me, so...
Yeah. Yeah, if that happens, then even the aggressive ones won't attack you. I think it's like a 10 or 11 level difference or something like that.
It's one or the other, yeah. It's
maybe even 12, but
I think, you know, it's 10 or 11, but I can't remember which one.
Yeah. Oh. And
so you sign in, you're going to be doing a session with anybody like Geek tonight, or are you just going to play because you want to play?
Well, I'm just playing because I want to play. I already did a session with Geek earlier, so those happen like Saturday, like afternoon into evenings usually. When
I just didn't know if you were going to do another session or not, that was all.
No, it'd be for fun after that, just
fair enough.
On my own. Love Thancred's interrogation of this guy too.
I think Thancred's always just been a sarky cunt anyway, so
Yep.
that's what I like about the character.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we have. Let me just check the time here. We have a little over 4 minutes. So yeah, I'll explain again, guys. This was a post commentary session because again, it was that long ago. I can't remember. Something happened to the videos. I think I lost them, and I had to redo them. So it is what it is.
Yep.
So if our conversation, our topics, and all that aren't. Obviously, they're not going to be the same. Are obviously going to be different starting in the next part. That is why next part onwards will be live. I can promise for at least the next 60 or 70 videos because there's been no problems with recording sessions since then. So there you go. Also, not 100% certain. My microphone might sound a little bit different here. I am not sure when I got the Blue Yeti, to be fair, so I can't remember if my audio quality will take a bit of a dip in the next part. But we'll see what happens there. So that's just another reminder. I still have 3 minutes left anyway, so. It has been a very cutscene heavy couple episodes here, so it is what it is. It is going to be a bit of a bitch to edit though, because I will have to either mute us or turn us way down during the voice acted cutscenes.
Yeah.
I assume, are you working or anything tomorrow, dude?
No, not on Sundays. I don't.
Okay. I'll see what's happening tomorrow night. If you're free, I will send you a message, see if you want to do another session. Obviously, it's not even just doing the session at the moment. It's the fucking pain. It's having to wait to get in.
Yeah.
It's just the biggest pain in the ass. Yeah, this will probably be the end of the part coming up here with this cutscene, or at least afterwards. Next time, next session, I know the last two we've done have been shorter ones, but you and I have just basically been a call. But next session, I'll probably jump into the hangout for us to do that, just in case anybody wants to chat with us and stuff.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
It's a fairly laid back thing after all. You said we're fairly close to a dungeon coming up.
Well,
next session.
I don't know if we'll hit it the next session or not. That depends on how much of a session it is.
And we'll see what happens. Like I say, it depends how quick we get in, so we'll see.
I mean, we're on level 61 quest, and the dungeon I mentioned is a level 63 dungeon, so...
True, but not all of the levels have the same amount of quests, though, so we'll have to have a look.
No, but there's also a factor what we have to deal with is for the story, too, and cutscenes.
Yeah, that's a good point, to be fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got just under a minute left. Nova, thank you for joining me with this tonight. Of course, obviously we were going to do an actual live session, but as we've already mentioned a few times, it went to pot.
Yeah, player queues unfortunately derailed that.
Yep, pain in the ass, a massive bitch, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was an interesting to look back on an earlier session from well over a year ago, maybe a year and a half, if not more. We can end this in about 20 seconds. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will see you with the next part, which will be a live part. And obviously the conversation will be very different. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and sayonara, people.
Yeah, see ya.